Hello everyone, welcome back to another Dokkan battle video. So, yesterday, or I should say 2 days ago, I put out a poll, Dokkan players, assuming part 2 is GT, what would you rather? Free to play Shadow Dragon team or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta clones? Now, the thing about the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta clones is that, I haven't watched GT in a while, right? But I don't remember him doing that, right? If we look the clone Kamehameha, if I go to the fandom, this is literally from Dokkan, right? So it debuted in Dokkan. Surely. So it says the technique is derived from combination of the 3 unseen strikes, as well as the bluff Kamehameha. Though Gogeta actually uses a Kamehameha. Okay. Yeah. So it's sort of. So we look at cloning. Does Gogeta actually use it? If we look at the list of users here. You got Kid Buu, you got Beerus. Okay. Goku Black, the Rose clones, Meta Matcha, Future Barbary, Frieza, Vegeta. So there are a bunch of users, right? But apparently it seems that am I a fake fan for not knowing that? When is the last time I saw GT? I don't know. Maybe he did use the technique, right? But so I was in the middle of editing the video, and I did actually search it up. Like I said, I would search it up, and I did. So I'm not sure if I'm actually allowed to show this, but what I'll do is, since the video is paused, we could use the preview thing. So as you can see, he does actually create the clones, right? It's not just the clone Kamehameha. Of course, the clone Kamehameha does come from Dokkan, because this is the bluff Kamehameha. If we take a look, you can see there's the 5 right there. Talk about an active skill, you know what I'm saying. There is the confetti, and let's just say Omega wasn't having such a great day. He wasn't having such a great day. Hopefully they don't get me banned for doing this. So, dude, I didn't. Oh, Twitter. I didn't show any footage, right? It was just pictures, right? Surely they can't get me for that. Anyway, back to the video. Also, I forgot to mention, it was here. So I was searching through all this stuff, and Gogeta's name is right there, but I just kind of skimmed over it. So, that's on me. This would be cool to get Gogeta clones, but let's be real. Let's take a look at the state of GT bosses. When we talk about bad teams, right? We're talking Universe 6, right? We're talking GT bosses. We're talking Super bosses. Universe 6 and Super bosses, they've gotten their stuff this year. GT bosses, now of course nothing is confirmed for part 2, right? Nothing is confirmed. We did see the burst mode leak, but that could be the next celebration, right? Could be the one after, who knows? So just to avoid myself looking stupid, nothing is confirmed. That's why I said assuming, right? But if we assume part 2 is GT bosses, let's look at this. We have Nova Shenron. We have, where is he? Ice Shenron doesn't even have a TUR. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. And then Oceanus is the only, those are the Shadow Dragons we have. And then we have Omega, we have this Legion, we have Sin, we have an Ice and Nova joint card, and then we have these guys down here. In my opinion, I know they're not popular, but how did Bomba get a card before True Form Oceanus, before Rage, Naturon, Haze, and who is this guy? What is this? Muchi? Okay. All right. Um, like, you know what's crazy? I was looking for this character to find um, this art, right? The free to play Dragon Shadow Dragon team. I went from Fusion to Mastery because, Worldwide Chaos, these guys are not on Worldwide Chaos. It makes no sense. Shafted out of a category for no reason. Weren't they causing chaos all around the world? This is like the perfect Worldwide Chaos character, in my opinion. Because, like, Omega, surely he's on Worldwide Chaos. No. I guess the criteria is them knowing about you, right? For example, these two, they're on Worldwide Chaos, I think. No, they're not. I guess it's because he was kept a secret, right? Is Baby on Worldwide Chaos? We're kind of going on a tangent here. Oh. Yeah, so like if we take a look, like the androids, tech androids, right? I don't know who else. Cell, he announced the Cell games. He told people that there is gonna be the Cell games, right? People know about him, but people don't really know Oceanus. They don't know Nova Shenron. They didn't know Omega Shenron existed, right? He didn't come in announcing his arrival. He just transformed and there he is, right? But I do think it's criminal how Mamba got cards before these four. I know they're not hype, but like they could really push up the GT bosses. You know what? We could go look at Legends, because if we take a look at if we go to Ultra Omega and then we go to Shadow Dragon Saga, you can see there's not really too many Shadow Dragons here. They have Nova and Ice, but then they have Rage, and then Sin, and then Omega, and then that's it, right? Rage Shenron, I think he came out last year, right? Now, is Rage a money-making character? Absolutely not, right? Oh, I need to plug in my computer. Of course, we know Rage is making $0, right? But I think Rage Shenron would do more for the game than Mamba did, right? Mamba that we got in 2020, I don't even remember. She's not even on GT bosses. What terrible decisions. This category was just born to fail. But if we look at Mamba, right? Here we go. So this character here, she's not GT bosses. She's not movie bosses, even though she's from the special, hero, legacy of Goku, right? She's from here, from there, and she dropped in 2023. My idea is that they replace one of these Peppy Gal banners with Shadow Dragons. Now, of course, there would be, a bunch. What they could do, they could spread out the releases. Instead of giving us, we can close this then. Instead of giving us Anniversary Ice and Nova as a joined forces card, they could have just given up. Wait, no, it doesn't make sense because this was the GT one, right? What they could have done, instead of releasing this trash, they could have given these two their first cards, and that way Omega drops later and he's got himself, some team to go with. Or they could have just made the exception and given him banner units as a carnival. Of course, it would be weird, but I mean, they did that for LR during the State of Universe 11, I think they should have done that for Omega, but I really do think if they're not going to give us summonable characters, they should just give us a free-to-play Shadow Dragon team, because you're not using anyone else here. And the Rose clones, they've proved to be competent, right? The physical clone, good. AGL clone, I think STR1, the tech one, they all have their uses, right? The only real problem is the restrictions of like all typings you need, and plus cloning the name to make them actually like good, right? But like Ice Shenron doesn't even have a TUR. Nova Shenron, he has 2 banner units. I'm not sure, yeah, 2 banner units, and both of them are, not good anymore. Oceanus, they gave her nothing in their easy game, man. So yeah, I think, of course, it would be very fun to have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta clones of all the typings, right? But let's be real, GT bosses needs it. They need the help. I don't really know what else I'm trying to say. It's like Omega's not confirmed, but like if it is Omega, what team is he gonna drop with? Being the Dokkan Fest means he can help more, right? Because he can get like a second leader skill instead of whatever they were thinking this was going to achieve. Plus he's on not a ton of categories. Like he could lead like, I don't know, power absorption, inhuman deeds, or like, are they really going to do GT bosses again? I don't think so. They might do like Shadow Dragon Saga, and then, but because if it is GT, right, in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, what they could do, they could drop Omega, they could drop in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta's EZA, because this guy also leads Shadow Dragon Saga. There we go. So of course, he leads a category that this guy is on, right? And I think if it is going to be Omega Shenron, the best case scenario is going to be a Sin that has like a turn 1 active skill, because intros don't fix the name issue, right? Look at Evolution Blue Vegeta. The Int one, he's aged out at this point. The STR one, we know about him. But like back during the 10th anniversary, some people, they were taking the Int one over the STR one. And it's a real problem just because, like, look at these stats you gain. Look at this. Attack and defense plus 20%. It's useless. Big bad bosses, right? GT, brutal beatdown. That's, pure attack. Fierce battle, 20% attack. 15% attack. So if they do an Omega, they make him like a Battle of Fate support, like extreme class support. This guy could be runnable because he has the full link set, right? The full link set with Omega, that could be one thing. But I pretty much just wanted to go over this. I think these guys, if they're not going to make them summonable, they at least deserve their own cards, right? We can get Naturon, right? Who is this? Oceanus, Rage, Haze. So that's already 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then Nova and Ice. What do you think they're gonna do? I guess this is sort of just like setting myself up, because what if they just don't do it? What if they drop Omega and they make him a super good support? I don't know, a really good support unit because he has no team. For like extreme class, so you can just run him with other extreme units. But then they don't do this. They do like the Rose clones as a one and done. But yeah, I just wanted to go over this poll now, just because I'm pretty bored. And I know part 1, we're still in part 1, but yeah, I would definitely prefer the free-to-play Shadow Dragon team. Let's go through some of the replies, because I literally just remembered to do this now. I can't vote in my own part. Honestly, we do need the other Shadow Dragons as TURs. Shadow Dragons is ideal. If they did clones, if they did clones for not 1 but 2 parts, it would just be ridiculous. I mean, it would kind of be ridiculous. It would be cool, but let's be real. Fused fighters do not need the help. GT heroes, Giant Egg Power, they do need the help, right? But do they need 5 other units, right? I don't think so. So if we pull up in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta again. This guy. They would be on all the categories he's on. Also, speaking of clones, you know what's interesting? The Rose clones aren't on Exploding Rage, which I mean it does make sense because they are products of, you know, Rose's actual like Exploding Rage, right? So they're not like angry, they just exist, right? They kind of just exist. They're like a manifestation of rage, right? You know, embodiment of fury, right? So I was looking at this and I was expecting them to be on Exploding Rage, but they're actually not. Just because the actual Rose is the one that's, you know, actually angry. So of course he is. Huh? Really? He's not an I mean, I guess it is the moment, right? It's the moment that puts him on Exploding Rage. So this guy, this is before the Scythe. But if we look at this guy, this is the Scythe where he brings in the clones. So this guy is Exploding Rage, yeah. So that does, you know, it does make sense. I guess they, you know, they do make sense sometimes. Yeah, it does make sense. But yeah, the clones aren't on Exploding Rage. But back to this guy, they would have all the categories he's on. I don't think there'd be anything that they wouldn't have. Maybe like, I mean, like Battle of Fame, I don't know, because they're not like the real Gogeta, you know. But this is all just like speculation, right? Because did he actually make clones of himself, or is that just the super attack? Like, am I misremembering? I'll have to look that up. But if he did make clones, and I'm correct, and you can correct me in the comments, then just you know, it is what it is, right? But that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about this just because I think it's a bit interesting, just to go over what GT bosses could become if we do get a free-to-play Shadow Dragon team. Like, it would be nice, but then it would also be like I mean, it wouldn't really be a waste, but it kind of would, just because, like, they can make free-to-play units good. They know what makes units good. Look at the clones, right? They make them a cohesive team, but when you put the team together, they can be good. So if they give these guys like really good animations, even if they're free-to-play, they can make them good. Of course, they might restrict them to like, I don't know, Shadow Dragon Saga, when there is another Shadow Dragon Saga ally, or GT Bosses ally. I don't know. But like, damn, you know, it's not looking the greatest for our dearest Shadow Dragons here. Let's look at these others. Like, I just want to look at the categories. Like, let's be real. Why aren't they not on Worldwide Chaos? You know, I remember. I haven't seen GT in a while, but I do remember this guy was like living in like slime or like mud or like some kind of goop. I don't know what to say, right? He was causing chaos, right? Worldwide chaos. But I guess it's just because no one knows who they are. That's pretty much it. But I guess that does it. Thank you for watching. We're finally done, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.